What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the House of Holocrons episode 69. Nice. Today, of course, we have so many fun things to talk about. We have Bad Batch. We have a continuation of the dark side year that apparently 2024 is becoming. We have a few announcements for some new Black Series figures. Sorry, TVC, nothing for you just yet. And, of course, we are going to just friendly banter of all things fun in Star Wars. Do make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We do this every single week, and I make sure to upload videos weekly, if not daily. So, to start things off with a few drops that we have of the newer things, going to Hasbro, we will have two new Black Series figures. We have the Pit Droids, R5-D4, which was also just recently sold by himself. Thankfully, I didn't get it, so I'm kind of happy that I didn't get it, because I would have been mad.
I don't think we got the attachments. I think the attachments are new, aren't they?
Yes. He comes with his rocket thrusters and a lot of scopes, which is entirely new. Also comes with two different colored pit droids and the BD unit, which honestly, it's probably going to be about $45.99 or $42.99. I could say it's not going to be $50 like the original price was listed. That's not the original price. That was just the news report. If they charge $45, I'd be surprised. But I would say 45 to 42 probably for that. It's a fun pack, but it does tell me, when the hell are we getting Pelimoto?
That's true. I didn't think about. We just got the droids and not her.
Yeah.
I was so concentrated on because I'm a big fan of the pit droid.
Yes.
I think this is the first Black Series pit droid. I think we've gotten all the other. I think we got the. I don't think we've ever gotten a pit droid in Black Series.
TVC Vintage Collection line has a few, but this will be the first two major, especially like non-build-a-character old school silly kind from like before Black Series. So Black Series, first two pit droids we've ever gotten. And they look great. They look really awesome. They have that like battle droid style body, so they should be able to bend into their little like recessed position pretty well if you want to display one, like, you know, all squished down. You know, have one attacking Jar Jar.
Yeah, I was pretty excited for that one. I mean, that I haven't bought and I didn't get the. I forgot his name, the droid from the game.
R5-D4.
Yes, I didn't get him when he was originally released.
Me either.
But so that's nice to get him too. Honestly, I think it's a pretty solid group that they added.
I think it's a really cool pack. The packaging looks really awesome. Target exclusive, which both of these announcements are Target exclusives. I don't like exclusivity, but at the same time, I will admit Target's done a lot better job of putting stock on shelves. Yeah. And that's a big thing.
Yeah, that's one of the few times that I actually find stuff, especially when it comes out.
Yeah.
Some Target. I may have to go to a couple Targets, but I can go to like 6 Walmarts near me and
nothing.
You know, being in the nowhere Midwest, there's a lot of Walmarts.
You got a lot of Landos and a few Lukes holding on to the pegs like for dear life.
I still haven't gotten that Lando. I've seen them every time. One of these days I might cave in and buy them just for the hell of it.
Just to get something,
when they put it on clearance, maybe.
Right. I almost the squadrons one, you know, the vehicles that they've started to release. I saw the troop transport, you know, that funny one we talk about where they just stand inside. That's like $7 right now at Walmart, and I almost got it.
I haven't gotten in on it, though. My wife did buy me the mystery mini packs they did when they came out.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't really care for them because the amount of details kind of lacking. But they've gotten really strong support and have gotten some really cool drops, and they still.
They have an awesome AT-AT now. We have we have starfighters, we have pod racers. Like that line has actually grown pretty well. That's the problem. If I buy this $7 cheap figure on clearance, that's how they get me, and my brain goes, "You should get the other ones too." And then I'm just gonna have another collection.
Well, I know the guys that are still big into the X-wing game and stuff. A lot of them are around the same size, so I think they're a little bit off, but they're good enough to work.
Yeah,
and so that's how a lot of them are getting when they don't get the ships that they want. They just use those.
Yeah, and
then, so I know that was a popular thing.
Oh, and that sounds fun. Yeah, why not? It's cheaper, way cheaper. Those X-wing models are expensive.
I mean, they're cheap. They're expensive alone, but if you look at any other hobby that uses the same kind of figure war game, they're actually cheap in comparison, and they come pre-painted, which majority of those don't.
Yeah, 40K is expensive, and you got to paint it. So that is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's no comparison. You're saving like hundreds of dollars.
The second release is a Mandalorian privateer. Looks awesome. It is pretty much Din arm and legs on like Jango style torso.
It's 100% Jango's torso.
Yeah, it's a nice helmet. It's got I like the line across the top. It's almost very Jango looking just in general.
Yeah.
But I'm getting kind of sick of all the blue. Why is everything blue?
Well, we got a bunch of blue because of that squad that we got from season. I think it's season 2. We got the blue squad.
Well, no, season 3, the Rings of Galvis. Like when they have that big fight, I get that, but like, we don't have a single covert member yet. Not one. There is not I mean, I'm not counting the armor and Paz Vizsla. I get that, but like the judge, the random background guys. I'm worried they're not doing
it. From the cult. Would be nice. Or the ones off the planet. The ones that are
survivors.
The survivors that had all the random stuff. We had like
I love Eiffel 65, but everything doesn't have to be blue. Baba dee daba die. Like it doesn't. I love.
Well, they just get a lot of that blue paint. They still had.
They have a lot. They got to use up, and it's also the same thing as like, the covert / cult Mandos, I can kind of, and like the Survivor Mandos. Why don't they do that? Because they're going to have to tool the new pauldron, the new chest, the head, the B2 head that the guy's wearing on this arm. Like they'd have to do new tooling. We'll buy it. I promise you, Hasbro. If you make covert Mandos that don't all wear blue, we will buy it. And they're not even all the same shade of blue.
I mean, Mandos are one of the, and it has to do with the whole Boba Fett thing, or one of the hottest selling figures.
And that's the thing. Even when you look online, me and a lot of other people agree, hey, this is cool. Can we stop getting just blue Mandos or just Mandos in general? Every other release is a Mandalorian. And then you have the other people like, I only collect Mandalorians. I'm so happy right now. Well, I would love if they would just drop Sith for the next year, but they won't.
Well, I'm just glad they didn't do another Din or another Boba. We've got a ton of Bobas and Dins.
I don't need another Bo. I don't need another Din. I don't need another Boba. That's pretty much the main 3 right there. It's fine. I'm happy that they want to produce this stuff, but it's weird. Like again, I keep saying that a lot. Hasbro has yet to release the rest of the Bad Batch in the Vintage Collection line. Season 1 or Season 2. They only have Hunter. That's it. Why would you not want to make the rest of them? Or in this one, why would you not want to make the Covert and Survivor Mandalorians? Give us a build-a-pack thing. Like, hey, here's 2 kind of blank Survivor Mandalorians and a whole bunch of accessories you can put on them to make them look different. That would sell so fast.
Yeah, this... I don't know who decides what figures get made and which ones don't.
You're right. Because we just got the whole Acolyte wave. Like, the Acolyte is getting the whole wave of Jedi that we've seen from the Acolyte. They have already been announced, and I have already pre-ordered them. So, like, sometimes they're like, hey, we got all these new figures for you guys. And other times they're like, what do you mean you don't want another Bo-Katan?
I'm interested what they're going to do for Season 3, a Bad Batch of anything. But... And then also, Acolyte's got to get a second wave, because we got the pre-wave. We need a second wave once we get the show wrong, because there's going to be more characters.
Well, especially the Darksiders. That's going to be the big one.
Yeah.
And then aside from that, like, the only other recent announcement was another Mandalorian privateer, female version, or a night owl, as they said, but it's the same. It's Koska Reeves with a little paint job. That's it. So, hey, guys, honestly, the way I look at Mandos is... buy up the really cheap ones on Amazon that have been sitting there forever and just repaint it.
I would like the Survivor ones. That would be on my high list because they're so unique.
Yes. And that would take like a big amount of kit bashing to make one yourself. And I'm not about to buy 4 or 5 random B2 units just to destroy them.
And then also like the new commando units, the super commandos. The Imperial Mandos.
Oh god, that's pipelined though. Those are pipelined. So eventually it'll come out.
Yeah.
Now that's another weird thing with the pipeline. Like I love how they're like, hey guys, we have this pipeline of these amazing figures that are dropping. Soon. But before that, here's all these other figures that are now dropping that we didn't even tell you about. What?
I think. I wonder if it's a Target exclusive. Maybe what those can't maybe pipeline. Maybe I don't know. Either that or we
Maybe,
just
yeah.
assume everything at this point's a Target exclusive.
A lot of things have become Target exclusives. Like I know the other one I just got was the Clone Trooper pack, the 2-pack. That was a Target exclusive, $45.99. But
were you able to get the discount price or no?
No, I wasn't even gonna try. I feel like that. I liked the idea, but I kicked myself for not pre-ordering it and getting it for what, $25.99.
At least they respected their price drop.
Yes, they kept it like that. But if you found it in stores,
it.
if you found it in stores, they weren't gonna give it to you for 25. They're like, you didn't pre-order it, and I just took it. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. I'm not gonna try and cheap them out, but yeah, GameStop, that was BS. They were just like, yeah, we didn't charge you the right price, so we canceled your order and we recharged, and here's the new one. That's not fair.
It was. I had to contact GameStop because they never really canceled my original. I told you about this.
Yeah.
I had 2 orders in there, and so I had to go in there. I just ended up canceling because I wasn't. Yeah, I was gonna originally pay the 100, but I was like, yeah, I can get it on Hasbro Pulse at any time. They're not gonna sell out.
Right. Exactly. That's the other big part about it is, and then sometimes they'll and the things that do sell out are so random. It's crazy, but I love it. And then for selling as well, the other newer announcement is Marvel Comics will be coming out with a Inquisitors miniseries. Most miniseries are about 4 to 6 comics long. This is going to be going over Inquisitorium, over some of their training perhaps, and a few of the Inquisitors within the group. We could see more Reva. We could see more Eastcat from Rise of the Red Blade. We could see a lot of the other Inquisitors we've never met before. That'll be really nice, I'm sure. And it's just really solidifying. I think 2024 is the year of the dark side because they are really pushing dark side stuff.
So I heard that they're not going to finish. I don't know if I'm correct, but I was reading that they aren't going to finish the Thrawn comic based on the storyline. They're only doing part of it.
Yeah, they only did part of it. They didn't do the whole thing. I have all of them. And thankfully, I've read the books.
True? They're not going to finish the story?
It's tentative. They want to, but they have to see how sales versus what they're going to choose to do. Because if you haven't read the books, these comics are still fun, but God, they jump around a lot. And you will have no idea who, what, when, where, or why if you have not read the book, sadly.
Yeah, it would be nice for them to their story, but they'd have to do a long comic run.
Yeah.
It'd be more of a graphic novel, if anything.
Exactly.
Which I think they should have done. I think it would be cool to see them attempt to do a graphic novel because we don't have a Star Wars graphic novel.
True.
Like a full-on graphic novel.
Yeah, because the only other ones that are kind of close, that's not that though. It's manga. It's the Living Balance High Republic mangas that came out.
Yeah, I think that'd be really interesting since we don't really have one. At least there, I think there may be some back in the day, but I don't. I'd have to look it up.
Right, exactly. It's one of those things where they're not canon. If it's out, it ain't canon.
Or at least do like they do with DC and Marvel, where they do the collection of comics.
Yeah, but just produce it all as the collection.
I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I could see that it'd be difficult to do comics to fill the book story, but yeah.
But hey, we're finally getting into Return of the Jedi, so that's going to be a big one too. The comic scene is pushing past Empire Strikes Back, getting fully into Return of the Jedi time periods here soon. That's going to be great. I'm super excited about that. I'm so stoked about that. I've been really loving these Master and Apprentice variant covers that they've been coming out with lately. Those are gorgeous. I feel like this one's kind of a slap in the face, though. Like, I love Mace Windu, but the fact that they put the 2 dudes who killed Mace Windu on his cover... It's Darth Vader and Darth Sidious on the Mace Windu cover. Like, damn, they went there.
He's gonna get a Maul return. He's gonna come back.
Yeah.
Half droid. He's gonna be in the Mandalorian movie.
Oh man, people would lose their shit, and I would lose mine too because I'd be so mad. I love Mace Windu. I'd be so mad if he comes back. I don't know why. I love that Samuel L. Jackson wants to come back. That's so cool.
I just want him to see him just jump on the ship or something, and then says you'll have like Thrawn and then Mando, and Bill Burr's character's there for some reason.
Oh hell yeah!
And then return Mace Windu was like, "I'm back, motherfucker."
No, exactly. That's what it would have to be. He just ignites his lightsaber and he's like, "Who's next, motherfucker?"
Well, I saw the interview why he always says that in his movies. 'Cause he finally admitted why he always says that. And it started with his early movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for it is he actually had a bad stutter problem, and for some reason that word helped him kind of center himself.
Yeah.
So that was like his like word that he could like keep himself from stuttering. So he tossed it in there when things got kind of amped up.
Yeah, right. He's like delivering a really high monologue. He's like, "How am I going to recenter myself, motherfucker? Oh, I'm good."
So then that just became his calling card at that
That's
point.
awesome.
They expected from him.
And I always love that scene where he's looking at George Lucas like, "Can it be purple though?" And he's like, red guys have green and blue, bad guys have red." He's like, "But purple." And the whole reason we have different colors of lightsaber crystals now is because Mace Windu, aka Samuel L. Jackson, said, "But what if it was purple though?" And it was.
I mean, when you have a status like Samuel Jackson, you can get away with it. Really.
Exactly. And I like it. I love purple lightsabers and stuff. I think I like the fact that it's not just 3 colors.
Well, yeah. If it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have gotten other colors for a long time in Star Wars.
I don't think the Temple Guards would have yellow. The Temple Guards would just have green and blue.
So you can thank him for that, because even though they were in a lot of the comics and stuff, but we never got anything like solid canonically with it. So yeah, he brought it into the movies. So
right, and I love those little backstories behind. Like that's one of the things I think is missing the most from Disney Plus is all of those awesome DVD box sets with those hours and hours of behind the scenes footage, the making ofs, the story of. That stuff is so good, and they're doing it a little bit for certain shows here and there. But just put the stuff from the DVDs on Disney Plus.
But it's even cooler when they do it outside of the stage thing, the big screen thing.
Oh, damn! I just forgot it too.
It's got a generic name. It confuses me.
The volume.
Volume, yeah. And so, like the Acolyte, they're using a lot of practical stuff for the Acolyte.
Hell yeah.
And they're not using the volume for a lot of it. I don't think they're using volume at all for it.
I'm fine with that. And maybe that's Leslie. Maybe that's one of her decisions. She's like, I don't want to use that thing. Which I'm happy they're allowing that too. They're giving their directors the freedom to just use what they have.
But I think that's also how we're getting so many aliens too, which is good, because we're getting a lot of aliens as well. I'm glad they're doing that.
Oh, I'm always happy when I see more aliens. Always.
It does get kind of boring, and I get it with the Imperial stuff. They like, we only use humans, but it's like Star Wars. Like the whole point's the aliens.
And that's the other thing about with the High Republic. That's what a lot of people like about the High Republic. There's not a lot of humans.
Well, that's one of the most iconic things about like when people think of Star Wars. Yeah. They think of like their favorite scenes. One of the main things that pops in people's head is the cantina scene, and it's mostly because it's full of so many exotic aliens.
Right, exactly. It blew people's mind to see that. Like that was the thing that put Star Wars out there. Is people who were not sci-fi nerds left Star Wars going, that was amazing, because you saw so many things you'd never seen before, noises you never heard before. Like it was this just grandiose thing, and that's what I'm hoping for more of, and we're getting it. I mean, even with like the Inquisitors, have you ever seen just a normal human Inquisitor? Now that I think about it,
Reva?
Okay, yeah, you're right. We got Reva. The rest of them are aliens. I mean, but like half the aliens in Star Wars are humanoid, but they have to be, or else it's like they're all puppets then.
Well, I mean, there could be more, but most of them you don't get to see their face. So. Yeah. But the ones we know for sure of is only one human.
Yeah, and I'm really happy to see all that. Like it's been a really, really fun beginning of these end of 2023 into 2024 has been a really awesome time for Star Wars in that growth of not feeling held back by what they believed the old Star Wars was, and then they're just throwing it out there. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's nice that we've gotten, and it's really all these shows they've been adding. We've gotten some really people standing out directing, and what we got with these popular shows. We've gotten some good animators going on, so it's starting to really be, the time for Star Wars.
Yeah. Sure. And then of course we have I feel like things like Batu and stuff are it's still a theme park at the end of the day, so it's gonna be fun the first time you go. It's gonna be amazing. Like, but like I've heard a lot of things about like how like they're reducing like table sizes in the cantina to make people just kind of like get your thing and leave. That's normal. I don't blame Star Wars for that. That's just theme park logic.
Yeah, Disney doesn't like doing, unless you're at a full sit down restaurant, they don't like the tables because they don't have full wait service and it's money. They want people traffic through. Because right now, the cantina you have to reserve a table for, and it's mostly like bar. It's mostly bar, alcohol, drinks, and like, and there's only like 2 food items there,
right?
And they're like little bar things, and they're not getting a lot of people through because you got to reserve a table. People just chilling, and drinking, and just sitting there.
Yep. And I can understand that from a theme park point of view, that's just money not going anywhere if they're just sitting there drinking.
Yeah.
Like at least when you drink around the world, you're still walking.
It's like Star Wars Mecca right now if you got the money for it, for sure.
I can't wait one day.
I mean, it would have been if you could afford the cruise liner, but they got rid of that. So yeah, if you can either visit either Batu West or East, and I believe they are making another one, and I think China or Japan.
That would make sense.
Another Batu. That's.
I know we've already talked about this before, but why not just make different planets?
Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing Batu for some reason.
And like, I get it for like the story purpose and blah blah blah, but like, you really want people to like go to all your parks? Oh, Coruscant is in California, Naboo is in Florida, and Nar Shaddaa is in China.
Because my ranking right now, and it's really close ranking, except for one of them. If like the top 3 things as a Star Wars fan to go to, 3 would be Star Wars Celebration. It's really tied close to going to Batu.
Yeah.
I think I would go to Celebration more than I would return to Batu.
Yes.
I think if I went to Batu a couple times, I'd be good. If I could go to West, I would go to West. Just the park, in my opinion, is not as good as World, but they got more characters in West. So, and then of course the final one is Kenobi Ranch. So.
Oh yes, that'd be so amazing.
It'd be impossible, but you know.
I mean, it's not the hardest thing to get to. It's just not easy either. Like you have to be invited into the ranch.
Yeah, we'd have to be known.
Yeah.
So
if like, we can get this comment, out, and subscribe, and let's get this podcast.
The #1 Star Wars podcast.
Hey, if you guys try hard enough, we could have George Lucas on here one day. But you have to like, comment, and subscribe.
We'd have to be invited to celebrations as a guest, and then we could talk. And it's just, it'd be great if you would invite us to Kenobi Ranch.
That'd be, oh, dude. If when the day comes that you see the House of Holocrons has a panel at celebrations, you know I'm just in the back somewhere hyperventilating, crying, puking, and having the most amazing day of my life. But it's gonna happen.
After I'm shaking, somebody high up that can get me in the Kenobi Ranch too. After I'm like shaking their hands, getting everything signed, then I'm begging you.
Like I will fall to my knees right now. Don't make me grovel. I'll do it.
I know how to break in. I've seen the movie. I've seen.
What was it? Yeah, Fanboys. I love that movie so much.
I know how to break in. I've seen how to do it.
Right? Yeah, you shouldn't have put that on the movie. It's pretty obvious now. But yeah, it's so much fun. It's so much fun. I would also agree. Like, I'm so jealous of the people who live right next to, if they live in Florida or Cali and they get to go to Batu like as much as they kind of want, because like you also have the Disney stores in there have like everything you could ever want. They have a lot of exclusive stuff. They have a lot of.
Well, the thing is that there's both sides. Especially Disney World. They have stores that you don't even have to go into Disney. It's called Disney Springs.
Oh, okay.
They have a lot of Disney stores that sell the same merchandise. And there's some merchandise, like the brand new stuff, go straight to the parks first. But it's like a couple months later they add it. Yeah. So they have like I believe both locations have a kind of a, I forget what they call it. It's like it's a Star Wars store.
It's a strip mall.
They have all the merchandise.
They have a strip mall out front.
Well, yeah, kind of.
In a good way.
But they have a store. You don't actually have to go in to Disney to buy tickets and everything just to go shopping. So I'm jealous because those people there, they just like, weekend, let's go to this, the Disney strip mall and shop out all these stores, and
then all the people who get to go for like May the 4th is coming up. If you get to go to Batu on May the 4th, I've heard it's one of the coolest experiences ever. So many fireworks shows. They go all out.
Yeah, I mean, because I was a big fan of when the thing came out, and they had these two big clubs the lightsaber club and the joy builder club. And then I see all the pictures they do their meetups. They have an annual meetup and they have another meetup for May the 4th, but they have their meetups and they do like at a certain time, and everybody lights their lightsabers at the same time and all this stuff.
Oh man, yeah. Soon.
I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's really cool to see the crowd of just all these lightsabers.
They're usually in front of the Millennium Falcon, and there's just a sea of different colored lightsabers. It's awesome. Yeah, that's definitely on the Star Wars bucket list, which is my main bucket list, but whatever.
Yeah, one of my bucket lists is coming up sooner than.
Yeah, I'm excited for you there. But celebrations, that's gonna be the next one. We had Europe.
We'll find more about it later.
Yeah, we had Europe. That was cool. Happy for Europe. We're getting Japan this year. I'm happy that Japan gets the celebrations, and for those that get to go, I hate you, but I love you. You're so lucky. I can't even afford the plane ticket, let alone the tickets to everything else.
Well, the problem is before Disney bought it, celebrations was a lot more varied.
It was like Anaheim or Florida.
Before Disney bought it, it was all over the place. Yeah. They had it once, I think, in Texas and stuff. But they did it 4 times. It was like every 4 years, and Disney bought it every 2 years, but either California or Florida. And they're only doing the places where there's Disney parks, which sucks.
Right. It's
like, I'm waiting for.
I wouldn't be surprised though. You know what? Maybe next year they'll surprise us and it'll be Chicago again, because that was a pretty big one. They've used Chicago a few times. If they go to Chicago, I'm going. If it's in Chicago, I'm going.
Because the problem with us, and I've given it away, that we both live basically in the middle of the country, in the Midwest. Yep. When we go to stuff like that, it's a once in a lifetime trip. It's like if we go to Disney World or Disneyland, it's not like it's like the whole people. Most people go to Disneyland are people that live there because it's easier to go to. It's not as a big experience. If you're going to travel, you go to Disney World.
Right? Yeah, the tickets to get in are not as bad as the plane and then the way to get there, and then all the food while you're there, and the staying somewhere.
Yeah, so we have to go all out.
Yeah.
And the tickets aren't cheap because we're probably as far in the U.S. as you can from there. So.
We are equal distant to both.
So, and it's like, might as well just go to Disney and Tokyo, So.
Right, exactly. It's still going to be almost just as expensive. But hopefully, again, so what? It is, so 2028 will be the next celebrations then?
No, I believe they do 2 years now.
Oh, that's right. I miscounted. I, for some reason, added 4 to 4. But yeah, so 2026, we'll have the next celebrations. I mean, hopefully.
It feels like they do it every year now. But.
Right. It almost feels like that. If it's in South America, I won't complain or something. But, I get it. I just want to go to celebrations. I just want to go so bad.
Well, you say that. They have, especially in Brazil, they have a huge Star Wars following in South America.
Yeah.
I found that out when I got into Mandalorian mercs. Even back when Star Wars isn't as big as it is now. There was a huge South American group, especially and a lot in Brazil. I was so surprised at how much Star Wars was so big down there.
And hey, and again, do they deserve having a celebrations close by for them for once in their lives? Yes. I won't
we complain about it, but those people.
I'm only complaining about it because I'm a middle class Midwesterner who doesn't get to do a lot of fun things.
I don't have to fill out, a passport and possibly a visa because I'm, I'd have to probably stay a bit.
That's a whole other thing too. Yeah, I want to go to Japan for celebrations. I need a passport. I need to get this. I need to get that. That's already more than I can spend in a month. So it's going to be great. I can't wait to hear. We're going to be able to watch it. Like always, it's live on YouTube. I'm happy they do that. They cover it. We get the awesome interviews. We get to see a few panels here and there. We get a lot of the floor walking. That's great. That's awesome. Not to mention all the people who will YouTube and stream about it and stuff.
We get to hear about cool trailers we don't get to watch.
Yeah, and then we see the weird little that little you see half of a person's head and it's some chair and then a third of the screen videos. And it's great. I love that. I can't wait to be able to go though. I will cry when I walk into Star Wars Celebration. I will cry. I know me. I
Star
will
Wars
cry.
Celebration was on my bucket list forever, even before Disney bought Star Wars. I mean, I think it's ever since before I got into Mandalorian. So it was it's been a long time.
Yeah.
When I found out what Star Wars Celebration was, I've been wanting to go ever since. But yeah, it's not easy for people that don't live in that area or just don't have the funds and time to just drop everything and go there.
Well, especially
If I
now, it's
was
like I have a
still in the
2-year-old,
costume club, I
so
would have considered it more. But it's a thing.
yep, and that's my big thing. We have a 2-year-old right now. It's like, what am I like? Why I'm not going to Disney World until my child can remember it. I'm not spending that much money.
It's like you go all the way there for Disney World. I mean, you go all the way there for the con, and then you're like, "Well, I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm in Florida / California. I never get to go, and it's cost a lot of money. Might as well enjoy myself besides the con.
Yep.
So let's go to Disney World / Disneyland. Well, you don't want to because it's going to be so packed.
Oh yeah.
And you're not going to be able to do anything, and you're going to spend a ton of money. So it's like,
and then that's my problem. It's like, but we're going to walk around Celebrations, and I'm going to spend money, and then we're going to want to go to the park, and I'm going to spend money. Hey, if you guys find that tree that money grows on, let me know. I could use a few. That'd be great. But we just got to keep doing the thing. We love Star Wars. Manifest into the Force that next 2 years, 2026, House of Holocrons will be at Celebrations. I feel it. We can do this. I will make it happen.
Help us go viral, and then we'll get there.
Exactly.
All I got to do to go viral, apparently, for Star Wars is talk about how women should be in Star Wars.
Yeah. Kind of speaking on the women of Star Wars, though, I saw one of the most hilarious happy birthday things I've ever seen in my life. So there's always, on Facebook, on X, on all of them, there is a page that is always dedicated to birthdays of Star Wars actors. Well, recently it was Gina Carano's. I love they did the normal listing of all the things she's been in. It was really great. And then the last sentence, they say, and her inability to accept consequences. I died laughing when I saw that. Oh, that woman might not belong in Star Wars, but whatever. So then, now to get into even more crazy, just tense stuff. Man, Bad Batch. I've seen a lot of people complain that these last 2 episodes have been too slow. And they're like, "What? We only got 2 episodes left. There's a lot of wrapping up to do." I'm like, well, yeah, but they've kind of set everything up to where these last 2 episodes are nothing but crazy and just action. This most recent one, Into the Breach, is, again, it's a little slower, but it's another setup. It's like the one where we learned about Emery.
I had a little bit problem with this episode.
Okay.
We can get into it when they pulled out the old children's cartoon logic a little too much in this episode. But the disguising, take the paint off a very unique armor,
very clone,
and it will blend in.
At least they did use, like, whenever they were like talked to about that, because they do get they pretty much have to, with Rampart, they realize they need to go to Coruscant, to the orbital station, to get the codes to go to Tantus. So they're sneaking aboard. They put Rampart in a captain's uniform, which is hilarious. He's like, I was a vice admiral. I'm not wearing that.
Like, you genius. You do realize that there's a limited number of vice admirals that your name would be known.
Yeah, they would still know you as vice admiral if you were a fucking vice admiral, Rampart. But he gets his captain uniform on, and their guy does actually accost Hunter, like, none of this is regulation. What is going on? And so Rampart does have to speak up a little bit, but even like that wouldn't fly immediately.
Like, how did nobody turn their heads and meet when they were walking around? Especially, I'm sure they're like wanted posters or somewhere. Like,
oh, dude, yeah, that's a very good point.
Incredibly wanted. Like, how they're not subtle who they are. And they're heavily wanted by the Empire.
They just leave bodies around. Like, they go into the comms room to start getting into the computers. And the guy's like, well, I'm going to have to see your ID badge, sir. And he just stuns them. And then they just leave them there. Like,
I'm just saying, hunters should be super recognizable. You should be like every garrison should have like the Bad Batch wanted poster.
Especially Crosshair now.
Yeah,
he's an escapee and like a traitor.
But they could easily stole Stormtrooper armor, or what I thought they were going to do is the Clone Commando armor. I thought they were just going to use Clone Commando.
I really thought they were. I thought they were going to have clone armor on, or they were going to steal TK armor, something like that. I was very surprised when they just removed the paint.
Yeah, I was like, that's some children's cartoon logic right there.
It's to remind us that Star Wars is made for 11-year-olds. We're just 11 at heart.
Yeah, I could agree with a lot of things in there. I saw that, I was like, come on.
That was that was Leia under a trench coat level of no one's gonna notice that.
You got literally, and the funny thing too is they even brought out Echo, who's got the robot hand, and he's like just casually, the guy like side eyes as they're walking by him, like, you do see that nub right there, right? Like, that's the armor might not be regulation, but a stormtrooper with the little droid.
Not regulation at all. Not allowed. You're not even supposed to be a trooper if you're that disfigured. You're probably just kicked. You're like, all right, retired. So they then have to fight. They find a space shuttle that will be leaving to Tantus, and they can't get the codes from it because it's going to depart, get the codes, and jump. So they're going to pull a very old trick that we've seen in Star Wars countless times. Mag lock onto it when it gets ready to jump to hyperspace and just travel with it. But they have to get rid of a sensor that will alert them to it being them approaching. So Echo is on board the ship by himself because it's easier for him to work alone. He's able to get into the computer with just minimal chaos, pretty much. And they jump. But it was very stressful. I honestly didn't think they were going to make the mag lock. The way they had it set up, I felt like it was going to be Echo gets separated and then has to like help them figure out where he is.
I thought they're gonna have to just somehow track him down.
Yeah.
It's just honestly the biggest thing for me this episode was probably Rampart.
Yeah.
He kind of, I hated his character before this, but this episode he really sold it to me. Except the very end when he was like trying to ruin the mission. He's like, you're gonna give us stop.
Yeah, he's just out to save his own ass no matter what. But
yeah, he don't want to be caught, and I get his stress because it's the protagonist logic
free me, and now you're taking me to Tantus.
Yeah. Well, the protagonist logic of doing things at the last second, and then they're taking them to Tantus.
I escaped Imperial prison, and you're about to take me to the most secure Imperial facility in the galaxy.
Also, I know she likes breaking out. One thing we didn't cover was
true. Sadly,
with her.
I kind of forgot Omega's a little bit.
Yeah, we saw a bit with Omega, and she's trying to break out. And I'm like, I get, okay, you broke it out before, but that was different. You had a car, you had the computer, you had help from multiple people.
Yes.
You had a card for the whole facility, and you had access to a ship that normally wasn't there, but it was there because Malice.
Yeah, Nalase, yeah.
Nalase, she left it there.
Yes.
Because they were about to go on, or they just got back or something. So she had a kind of, it was perfect situation, and he also had Crosshair there to help her,
and Batcher.
So, and Batcher. So it was kind of a perfect scenario, and they barely escaped.
Yeah.
And now she thinks she's gonna bring these small children
and a baby.
And it's like a giant elevator hatch type. Well, it's just like a big pit. There's no easy way to, but because like once you guys are being watched 24/7. Once you cross that threshold, they're gonna know you're gone.
Yeah. Immediately when one of them disappears and another one goes in the same room, done.
Well, they got suspicious when she just walked in her cell.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what you're going to
Well, and then they do the classic thing where Omega bumps her head and makes a large noise, so they rush in to check, and she's just sitting there. What?
It's her naivety still, because she's young, but I'm sure they're going to be like, oh, they give it to him, but I just
do you think something bad is going to happen to these kids?
I don't know.
I mean, I want to say Disney still isn't going to kill children, but all I know is, like, what are they going to do with that baby? That baby's not going to be able to escape well.
It's not going to be able to climb anything.
Right.
That's the only way they can use that spot she found, is they're going to have to climb.
Or they're going to get really lucky and no, you don't go up. You're supposed to go down. It works. It's fine. Yeah, but then how do you stop?
It would have been interesting though, or like if they just like at the end they don't blow up Mount Tantus. Mount Tantus still exists.
Mm-hmm.
Would be kind of cool. If I doubt I think they're going to end up blowing up Mount Tantus at the end. Because we don't really hear much about it after the Bad Batch, I think.
Yeah, but that's also the point of Mount Tantus is it's like the most hidden facility.
Yeah. Well, the reason I said that'd be cool is like once they get rid of all the children and stuff, like then all of a sudden like he's like it's an empty and they're like we got a new batch coming in. Then you see like Grogu being like wheeled into the facility. It's like that would be the end of the Bad Batch. Like it just shows.
Well, because I feel like if Tantus is destroyed. I don't know what that would do for Palpatine's Project Necromancer. If all of the research and all of the stuff right now is there, I highly doubt it gets, like, super destroyed. They might blow up some of it, like, to cause a scene. It's gonna be assailed. Like, it will be assaulted heavily. Yeah. I see that coming. And if there is a clone rebellion, a lot of bad things are gonna happen. But he does return, so obviously the cloning facility has to have either been saved or the data is saved. Hemlock doesn't die. It's got to be something like that to get him.
I think Hemlock, because doesn't Hemlock end up going away anyways? Because he doesn't. We don't hear much about it. Because I think somebody else takes over cloning, so we don't hear much about him later on.
Yeah, it was Mandalorian talks about it. It was General Hux's father who was then the lead of Project Necromancer for the Imperial Remnant.
Because he's definitely a part of the Imperial Remnant, so something happens to him.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he's gonna die in the last episode.
Maybe Omega kills him. It's like her moment where she just like she's here to help everyone.
I think the better one would be Crosshair. Crosshairs.
He finally gets the tremble goes away.
More justified to see kind of Crosshair.
That'd be a good scene. Like as he's aiming, he's trembling, and then when he sees Hemlock, it just stops and he just locks in.
I don't think they'll let Omega kill him. I think she's too young.
I mean, that'd also be the thing, though. It would break her youth, you know. But then again, she's killed before. She doesn't care. She's how many TK people?
Well, those don't count. Those
right,
are just mindless.
Those are just stormtroopers. They don't count.
TKs aren't real people. They're just suits of armor. Well, that's how I feel like they do on shows.
Yeah. That's why they make sure they always wear the helmet, so then you don't see a face.
That's the whole reason they did droids, is because they realized they can't just mindlessly kill people, so they did robots instead.
Yep.
Now you know why the droid army exists.
Yeah, because George Lucas is like, I can't just have people murder people, so how about clones killing droids? There's no dilemma there. It's just a bunch of clones. Who cares? We care because we got attached.
That's how they got the dismemberment and death. He got away with this because of the clone. I mean, the clones and the droids, but most of the droids.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you can cut a droid's head off all day, every day. You won't get anything above a PG-13. So it definitely worked out for the better for that like casing there. But I feel like these next two episodes have had so much set up. Emery's gonna turn at some point and help. Like, Emery's going to be the only reason they survive a botched escape, I imagine. And then the Bad Batch will be there. Bad Batch are probably going to assail in this next episode to try to get to Omega and then while Echo is probably going to go on his own thing. I could see it to where Crosshair, Hunter, and Wrecker are going after Omega, while Echo is more than likely going to run off and try to, like, signal Rex and the boys. Because him getting a signal out to Rex and his group that, hey, we found Tantus. We know where they're keeping all of our clone brothers. That would be super special. That would help a lot. We would then get the Clone Rebellion, which could then lead into a lot of the other, destruction and dismemberments of Tantus, Imperial Order being a little bit more shaken up. So I would definitely see it as a split group kind of thing, which they do so much in these episodes anyway to jump between these two stories. So that's just me. The boys go to save Omega, and Echo is just going to do what he can to get Rex, Gregor, and all of them to show up to Tantus to save everybody. Imagine if we're going
to... they've got to bring Rex back with some of the clones.
I wonder if, maybe Gregor will fight Scorch.
Unless they're trying to save it for some other storyline, but we got to at least see, Wolf and Cody somehow.
Yeah, they literally, that's the big part. Cody, yes, Wolf especially, because Wolf has to escape with Rex at this point, I believe. This has to be the moment where Wolf runs with Rex and they're able to leave and like go to the, because it was Wolf, Gregor, and Rex, right, on in Rebels. So like we've got to get that trio together at some point, and this is the perfect opportunity. There's no way they would have shown us Wolf before if this isn't the time when that happens, I feel.
Well, and that's the thing too with Cody is they introduced him and they started a plot line, the same thing they did with Wolf, and then they just like never touched on it again. So I'm like, I hate when they drop something and never like. I get we're concentrating on the big story here, but don't introduce stuff and never touch on it again.
Well, especially something like with Cody. I agree wholeheartedly with being able to not touch on things for a certain degree to like build ambiance and stuff. But this is literally one of the last things we might ever get about the clones. I don't think we're getting a Cody show. I want it if they're making it. Keep making it, but it's not going to be a Cody show. What's he going to do? Go to Tatooine and hang out with Obi-Wan? No. He would not want to put his life in danger. He doesn't even know he's alive. He thinks he's probably dead.
I mean, it would be cool if they did something similar to what we got with, but we're already getting it with the Empire, but how we do the shorts, doing it with like the Clone Rebellion. That'd be cool to do, but
Tales of the Clones, I could see that.
Yeah.
And if they do that again, but that's also going to be like what, next year or two, so
it'd be another year. They don't do.
We need something, just like a little nugget of, like, it could be a thing where like Rex is like, yeah, I'm on my way, and I just got word Cody's still alive, or something. You know, just give us something. He did not go AWOL, and if he like, or even with Rampart, let Rampart at least be like, oh, he didn't go AWOL. I had him killed. Like, give us something. You literally have the guy right there. Yeah. I don't know if they will, but it's going to be exciting. Again, there's only 2 episodes. We have 2 weeks left of Bad Batch, and then we're pretty much done with the Clone Wars era. Tales of the Empire is going to help bring maybe back like a flashback 1 or 2, but it's Inquisitors. It's not gonna
probably connecting what happened after the Clone Wars.
Yeah, the only thing you're going to see as a clone in Tales of the Empire would maybe be like a Purge Trooper. That might be it. Even if, I mean, unless they go TK, because
unless they do earlier flashbacks.
Yeah. Now that's one of the biggest things I've always been confused about. I feel like the Jedi Survivor Purge Troopers are definitely clones, but then the Purge Troopers we see in the Kenobi series are not.
They're never consistent. That's the reason why we probably will never see Cody again. It's one of those things that they keep dropping storyline. Yeah, we got 2 more episodes left. Flash Strike and the Cavalry Has Arrived, which is their final episode.
Yep, it's going to be emotional. I know a lot of people on both TikTok, YouTube, X, all of it. They're going to be, crying, vomiting, having a horrible night. But I'm excited. If this next episode is set up, I'll be pissed. These next 2 have had so much buildup. This has to be the volcanic burst. This has to be it.
This next one should be ramp up pretty quickly, and then
they're going to Kansas. Like, what else can we do?
Cliffhanger, I imagine.
Yeah,
there's gonna be a big cliffhanger. They're gonna do like, oh, is she dead, or oh, is the Bad Batch dead, or and then Rex swoops in. I'd probably be wrong.
I'm trying to see how long the finale is going to be. I don't think it's going to be anything super crazy.
Did we get the length for those yet?
I don't know about show length. We just got the titles and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think I ever got the show length. I got the episode list, but I don't.
Yeah. 23 to 70. I'll say if I remember correctly, I didn't see anything about this finale being like an hour long. I'd be a little upset though if they didn't give it like more than 28 minutes, please. Like at least 35 minutes. Like I want things to be closed off well. I really don't think the Bad Batch are going to ride off into the sunset. I don't want them to ride off into the sunset. Yeah, exactly.
I don't. It's not like I want them to hold my hand through the end,
right?
But I want to at least like tie it off enough to like I have an idea of what could have happened. I don't want them
Yes.
to just end it and just leave it and like, oh, we don't know what they're gonna do. It's like, like you see them fly off and the ship blows up. At least I know what happened to them.
Yeah. Or if they even just they look at Omega and they go, "We're going home," and then you just see them like over Pabu,
that's
or
fine.
some shit. Whatever, just do something. But it's gonna be a very crazy time because like we said, we've got a lot of story to wrap up, and with the way you mention it, I guess I'm a little worried that maybe Cody is gonna get waylaid and kind of left in the dust of all the other stuff going on, but I could honestly see them do a Tales of the Clones. We have Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, Tales of the Sith. Come on, Tales of the Sith.
I would like to see characters, but I would say it would be high on my list if they did another Tales for next year to do one of the characters be Cody.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool. It would tie up a lot that needs to be tied up. And we don't really get to see a lot of Cody. I think Cody would be a perfect Tales character.
Yeah, Cody is one of those characters that really blew up, even though he wasn't on screen. He wasn't Rex. Rex was on screen all the time in the Clone Wars. And when you saw Cody, he was just doing strategical stuff because he was like, wasn't he the Marshal Commander or something like that? Like he was higher up than the other commanders. Cody was like...
Cody? No, he's the commander.
Yeah.
He's the highest ranking clone.
Exactly. So...
He's literally the highest ranking clone the clone can get.
Yeah. He's got an awesome story. They just never really touched on it a lot.
You just see him with Obi-Wan a few times, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a lot of Obi-Wan and Cody behind a rock, and then Anakin and Rex show up and blow everything up.
Well, he had a unique helmet, and then they gave it to another clone.
Vaughn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Vaughn from Ahsoka's 332nd has his style of visor helmet.
Well, there's a purple one as well. I don't think Vaughn.
Oh, really?
Purple.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a purple armor. I don't remember his name. There's a purple one that had it before Vaughn did. But yeah, Cody was the only one with the helmet, and then he had the biggest, which is the 101st, I think. I remember his unit. I think
it's 127th. Now I gotta look it up, but
I don't remember. He's got the drop troopers as well, which we see in episode 3.
Yes, I love that helmet. That's why I love the Purge Trooper so much. That drop trooper helmet, so good. And it is the 212th Attack Battalion. Okay.
It's one of the biggest, I know that.
Yeah.
And he has the highest ranking clone. So yeah, it's and we like I said, we don't get to see enough of him. And plus, I don't want to give D. Bradley Baker fire him because he's got no job left.
What is he gonna do? Retire? Yeah. No. I mean, then again, he also does nubs. If you've ever met a weird creature in Star Wars that makes like a noise, it's probably D. Bradley Baker. But he's such a pivotal part of Star Wars now, and that's almost more sad than the clones going away, is D. Bradley not being in like something every year. Now I'm sure for him he's like, cool, I'm gonna go like see my family and rest.
It's so weird they call it Tales of the Empire, but it's more of Tales of the Dark Side with this one.
Yeah, it is more like Tales of the Inquisitors. But
the other one's not an Inquisitor, she's a witch. So.
True, but when I feel like if it's Tales of the Dark Side, dang it!
I know. I'm just saying it's
give me Ancient Sith.
Well, that's the only two connections they have.
Yes.
The Dark Side, essentially.
But yeah, man, if we ever got a Tales of the Sith and it's not like Sith purebloods kind of stuff, riot! I will riot.
Because that would be cooler if they did Tales of the Empire and they did one was Cody and then something else. That would make more sense.
I mean, I could see Morgan Elsbeth and Cody fitting perfectly for Tales of the Empire. You have the guy from within the Empire trying to get out of it, and you have someone who was destroyed by the Empire trying to destroy it. So, like, that would be a great Tales of the Empire. And then you could save the Inquisitor stuff for Tales of the Dark Side, Tales of the Sith. Because, Inquisitors aren't Sith. Yes, but no. Yeah, they are. They were given red blades, which means, like, to me, the thing is
helicopter blades.
Yes, helicopter blades are dumb and they're silly, but damn it, they still like the blade itself was all cool until they flew away on it.
If you count them as Sith, it just feels cheated. When I think of Sith,
that's the point. Palpatine sucked at following the rule of 2.
Well, I think of Sith, I think of eyes turning color, face turning all gross, and then well, not fully, but like all veiny and lightning and choking and.
I mean, the Grand Inquisitor had Sith eyes.
Yeah.
Don't forget, he did.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like, with Rise of the Red Blade, they literally talk, like, when Palpatine is showing Eastcat, the newest Inquisitor, around, and the Grand Inquisitor is helping, they're literally like, all right, in that room are all of the dark side things that the Jedi always told you you're never allowed to read. Actual Sith teachings. Now, of course, Palpatine took all the really good ones and the really powerful stuff, but they were still studying Sith archaeology and relics.
It probably is like, but if you read too many, or like one of the Inquisitors, but if you read too many, you get taken away.
Yeah, he kills you immediately. Sucks all your midichlorians out, and then
you can't get too dark side.
And that's true. I mean, look what happened with Maul. That's the same thing. Maul became a threat and then had to get taken out. But no, I that's my whole thing though with hating Palpatine. Like, I love Darth Sidious for who he is. He's the worst Sith Lord ever. Because he literally just created a giant group of Sith while following the rule of two and teaching none of his apprentices anything. Worst Sith Lord ever.
This is also like, this is part of the why when we get the Acolyte, I don't want any connection to Sidious. I don't want any.
You're right.
I don't want any as his master, the master's master. I don't want anything because we've had so much Sidious. I'd rather it not be associated with Sidious at all.
Yeah,
I get how cool it'd be to get to finally get some answers, but I feel like the people that are a big fan of the novel that kind of covers it, they're going to be disappointed because they're going to probably retcon a lot of that.
Right, and like, as much as I would love Plagius to be more of a canon novel, at the same time, I agree though, it's like, it's 100-something years before. Just let it be not Plagius. Like, I love Plagius.
They're gonna retcon some of that the book, but if they add Plagius in there, and then his master, his master is gonna be completely different. They're not gonna keep the same race if they do his master.
Man, if Tenebrous isn't a Sith, if Tenebrous ain't a Sith, I'll lose my mind. If Darth Tenebrous is who they show,
he's gonna be a human.
Because he's
gonna be old. he's literally just gonna be a copy of Sidious.
I hope it is a Bith Tenebrous though, because that's at least like that won't retcon much for the Plagius book, because he's like only in the first like 2 chapters. No, actually, Plagius was the master of Tenebrous.
I'm gonna wait
like,
for
what the hell?
A writer for like Disney or like the Star Wars to watch and be like, because I'm gonna give them the idea like they're gonna retcon Plagius. When he introduces on the screen, he's gonna be the same actor as Palpatine, because they're gonna like, actually, that's how Plagius unlocked life, is he just cloned himself. So Palpatine's actually a clone of him.
Oh my god. If I love Ian McDermott, if I see him, I'll lose my shit. I will lose my shit.
Plagius is the original Palpatine. And
I hate that.
That's how at one point the Rule 2 just became Ian, but
yeah, the Rule
Palpatine
2 just became
just cloning himself constantly.
Yeah. Me and my apprentices, the Sith way.
How do you want to know how I unlock the secrets to eternal life? I cloned myself 1,000,000 times.
Yeah, I've actually been around since the Old Republic. Shut up! I'm actually every Sith you've ever known.
The idea.
They're gonna pull that fucking Kylo Ren thing. I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
They do the Old Republic, and Revan takes his mask off,
and it's just fucking Sheev Palpatine.
Look, I told you that was a bad idea, but you all wanted it.
I'm telling you right now, I would actually probably stop watching Star Wars. I'd be like, okay, I'm done. If Darth Revan is Sheev Palpatine, I quit.
Ian's essentially like the Doctor in Doctor Who for Star Wars.
That's how they connect it. No, he actually is. He's a Time Lord. Little do you know. He can't die. He regenerates. He just chose the same body. Wow, that made me so angry, and yet it was funny.
He's the 66th Doctor.
Yeah, exactly. When a Doctor gets too many, he just goes crazy and turns to a Sith Lord. Wow, I didn't think I could hate that any more than I already thought I could, and I do now. Somehow, Palpatine was there before. He built the Massassi Temple on Yavin 4.
Oh man.
Because that's the thing, is like, we have pureblood Sith in canon because of the Dr. Aphra comic. They show the first one ever.
Yeah.
We have the Massassi in name because, of course, Yavin 4 is the Massassi Temples.
That's what I'm really hoping.
They're literally in Exar Kun and a Junta. No, not a Junta Paul. Nagasado built the temples on Yavin 4, and Exar Kun got locked inside of them from trying to steal Darkside secrets.
Well, the thing we got with Ahsoka, which is so exciting, is we get so tempting of teasing of actual full-on pure evil Sith, like what we want to see. And I'm hoping they continue that. I'm hoping, I still hope my predictions of who the evil is true. I would like to see that as the new big bad. I would like to see that ancient, before the Sith existed, essentially, just pure dark side.
Yeah.
The creation of the Dathomir witches with the dark side of the whole shebang. I think that'd be fantastic.
Speaking of which, guys, make sure to go to my channel and check out my new video where I talk about the theory about how Kejit, the ancient dark side Zepho person, might have invented the Night Sisters and the Jedi and Sith Order in doing so. I'm just saying it's juicy. There's a lot to talk about there, a lot to unpack. But we get the chance to see a before. And like I kind of say, like, what is better at causing a great schism than a war? Like, this guy with this ancient evil show up in the galaxy using the Force. So then all of a sudden you get these sage-like people that are all like, if he can use the Force, and we found out that we can too, maybe we can all band together and, like, stop him. There we go. The Jedi Order is created out of conflict. Then they turn into peacekeepers. But that would then, like, it sets seeds into the motion as to why the Jedi would then later fall, because little did they know they were started out as warriors who then became sages. It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war kind of situation. But it's gonna get crazy, and we're seeing so much dark side stuff this year that they're not shying away from. That just gives me more hope. I'm curious. I would imagine we are going to see Ahsoka season 2, at least an announcement towards the middle to end of next year. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe next year's May the 4th is when we get an announcement for Ahsoka Season 2. It'd be awesome this May the 4th if they would tell if it's filming yet or not. That I know it's starting pre-production and all that, but we need Ahsoka Season 2. But that's what scares me, is I want them to just straight up tell me that we're filming it, because I really don't want to lose Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. I would really be sad if those characters don't get more development. And again, we've said that millions of times, rest in peace, of course, to Rey. He did such an amazing job, but his character is too amazing to just let die. So hopefully season 2 will take off just that much more crazy, and will really allow for so many more things to be canonized, to be fulfilled. Again, we're not shying away from darkness anymore. The dark side of the Force is on full display this year. Acolyte's going to be amazing. I can't wait to start covering that one. And it's getting closer. Every day, every month, we get a little bit closer to Acolyte. So I'm excited. Fingers crossed that my mentality will last as long as I need to.
Yeah, I'm ready for another really solid, iconic villain. I know we've gotten some good ones, but nothing on the level of, like, Maul and Darth Vader.
Yeah, and seeing him in show is nice. Like, as much as I love Marchion Ro, it's different when it's a page. Yeah. Like when it's something you've made in your head by reading on a book, it's different. It really is. And it's no slight of the authors. They do amazing jobs, but Sith are my favorite. A dark sider, crazy villain is always going to be well more received and loved than the rogue badass warlord kind of thing. So, well, anyway, guys, thank you all so much for stopping by. I had an absolutely amazing time talking with you. Make sure, again, you go down, hit that like button so you can continue seeing all the amazing things we do, support the channel, hit subscribe to see all the awesome videos that we're putting out every single week, if not daily, and comment down below, what do you look forward to with the dark side? What are your thoughts on Ahsoka Season 2? Or just random facts you want to spew. We love hearing from you guys. Thank you all so much, and as always, may the Force serve you well.
May the force be with you.